Welcome
Welcome
to
to
Shade in the
Shade in the
City.
City.
I'm Treese.
It's Nels.
And today we are jumping right back into our review of Real Housewives of Atlanta. And it's going to get messy, y'all. I am loving Kenya this season. So please make sure, if you have not already, that you have hit that like button.
And that subscribe button.
And yeah, y'all, let's get into it and let's get shady.
So Marlo meets up with her builder, Patrick, and they go over some plans for, looks like she get a new house, y'all. And apparently they had to get the numbers together. She had to take off a few square footage.
Because the math wasn't mathing.
And then Sheree and Kenya show up, and she says, she brought a little some little baby builders. One took 20 years to build, and the other one is still building. I said, damn, these bitches can't help but be shady.
Right, but you calling for their help. But she says she's calling so she can learn what not to do. I said, y'all some shady hoes.
You know what? It's crazy because she already knows that they're going to come in with shade. So she's like, you know what? Let me get started. Let me get a head start on this. And yeah, she shows them the blueprint of her house. And Kenya points out how she has this big, huge closet or a house with all these different closets. And it's tiny little bedroom.
A 550 square foot bedroom, to be exact. This is square footage.
I think the closet was bigger, right?
Right. The closet was bigger. And I hate to say it, but I'm kind of with Marlo on this one. I'm gonna use the bedroom to sleep. There's people that live in apartments that are that size, like whole apartments. So if my bedroom was only 550 feet, I think I could take that.
And I mean, telling from the fact that she made a whole lot, her business off of her clothing.
She needs somewhere to store all them clothes.
Exactly. She needs some closet space. Right. So they talk about why she's, moved so far out. And she was like, oh, I'm a Buckhead girl. And of course they get on the money.
She said, well, they asked her why she was moving to Decatur. And Sheree said, you give me Buckhead girl. And they were like, yeah. And she was like, I don't have Buckhead money.
I felt like I heard her say she was a Buckhead girl.
No, they said she was a Buckhead girl.
Oh.
And she said, yeah, I may be a Buckhead girl, but I don't have Buckhead money. And then that's when they were like, oh, and she was like, y'all assume I have all this money. And then Kenya's like, nobody assumed that. You're the one that came into your event on the mic talking about, I got money. This is what I do.
And I know fashion. And I said, oh, and of course, Bravo, bring it back.
Right. I love Bravo for just run it back. Run the tape. Right.
Marlo was like, no, you're full of shit. She was like, no, I'm not full of shit. That is what you said. But Kenya's basically like, okay, well, I love your plan. It looks beautiful. It looks like it's going to be
Kenya took the high road. Kenya took the high road.
Yes, she did, because we know Kenya.
Right.
Guess what? You know what? I know Bravo got me, so ain't no even need to go back over this. Okay.
But Marlo, you could tell I don't know why, she got really sensitive about it and was just like, y'all always talk about money and where I'm getting my money from, guys, and it's just too much. And I was like, okay, Marlo, you are always the shady bitch. Don't come in here trying to be emotional now. And
I think it's because Kenya's more shady than her.
I don't know. I just was shocked because it's like, oh, so now you want to I'm not saying she's running a corner crying, but now you want to act like you're offended when you shaded these heifers before they even got out the car.
I think it's more Kenya, because I think nobody else can bother her like that except for Kenya. Kenya can. Kenya will get up under your skin. Okay. But yeah, she says she loves the plan. And apparently the builder, she likes the builder too. He know what the hell he's talking about.
Right.
And Marlo basically says, let's go have a seat and get ready for New York. So they asked Kenya if she plans to see, her ex, her husband, or soon to be
And
husband.
she's like, no, I'm gonna send Brooklyn by the au pair and do the handoff. I said, come through, Kenya. Know when it's done, boo. Know when to break tie. I'm this episode especially, but just this season, I'm loving Happy. It look, she done been through. I can tell she been through some therapy. Like Kenya, I'm here for this new person, whoever she is.
The Happy Kenya,
right?
Yeah, she's definitely in a much better place. And of course, they asked Sheree about Tyrone. Is he coming to visit? And she's excited. She's like, yes, he's excited to meet y'all. She says, I guess because of his PO, he has to be back by 9 and he can't travel outside of 100 miles. But Jersey to New York, he's in Philly, right? Where's he at? Well, wherever he is, it's within that 100 miles.
He's in Philly, but it's 100 miles from New York. So he may be he's supposed to be making it work. This all you got? This all you got for your storyline, Sheree? Go ahead.
And Kenya, she asked how Sheree feels about Drew coming, and she's like, she's super unfazed. She's just like, she's gonna go to New York and have a great time. Like, Drew who?
Drew who?
And basically she says that she feels like, she has a need for drama. And Kenya shady ass, she's like, all the shit she going through with her husband, she for damn sure don't need no more drama.
Okay. But she does say she has a lot going on at home and that she was disappointed in the way Drew attacked Sheree.
Yes.
And Sheree never
party.
Attacked nobody.
And it was at the baby's party too.
Okay, at the baby's party, I get that. But come on, Sheree is world class for attacking and bringing up people's stuff. So.
I don't know. Okay. I'll give you that. But
we all know she's a bone collector. That's what she's in for. So
I feel like with this situation.
But this is the only reason we sitting back like, oh, why are we messing with Sheree? Is because she just didn't ask for it this time. Any other time, she's the starter.
The thing is, I believe she was gonna ask for it, but she knew better than to do it at the party. The problem was Drew actually brought it up at the table. She put it in a little game. So it was like, this was definitely not the time or the place. So yeah, it makes it seem like Drew is much messier.
Right. Absolutely.
So it looks like Kandi and Todd are going through a walk, like in their neighborhood or something. And, she's asking him how things are going. And he says, not enough time and not enough support. And I feel like Kandi was trying to be shady. She was like, oh yeah, I know what that's like.
I know how that feels.
I said, damn. And basically she says like she's trying to bring more awareness to this show.
And so she invited the girls out.
Yes, and she wants to invite the man because it's basically for them. And she feels like the girls straighten up when the men are around. What'd you say?
I can agree.
Yeah.
They kind of try not to show their ass and look as messy as they normally do.
Mm-hmm. And she is excited that the ticket sales are going up because she says, it's going to take a lot to get out of the red.
Todd wants her to take the opportunity to go up and visit the condo in New Jersey, so they can talk about the space and what they could possibly do with it. And Kandi again expresses that she has no interest in sharing a space that he shared with his ex. Now I was on her side until later in the episode. I'm just gonna say that. Yeah, and then she says, I did like this. She said she feels like it's like giving her a rewrapped gift and then wanting her to be excited about it.
A rewrapped gift that you gave your ex-girlfriend.
Yeah.
And then wanting her to be excited about it.
And I said, okay, Kandi, I'm going to give you that, but you shouldn't look at it like that, but okay.
Actually, Todd said it was whack that she looks at it like that because he was like, this is a place that, we can fix up and, have the kids there, go up there when we're visiting in New York. And she's like, I just want to stay in a hotel. and make a mess, have them clean up. And he's like, it's not all about you. It's all about you, Kandi, and what you want. I was like, well, she completely, I felt like she completely ignored that shit.
Right.
He was like, you hear me? She was like,
no, not it. Then we get to Drew and Ralph, who are getting ready for their counseling session with Dr. Ken. Now, the production cuts to her in the confessional, and they ask her how her probationary period works. This is where she threw me off. She says, Ralph used to work tech for a Fortune 500 company. And so they run their business. They run their home like a business. And if things don't improve, then they'll eventually be terminated. I said, bitch, that's your house. This is at will. Bitch, if you run around telling my husband's business or telling some stuff that's not true about my husband, that's fired on the spot. That's insubordination. That's like, I don't understand. But whatever, probation. So anyway, they head out, or, they head to the door, and she's like, I'm not going to cry this time. I'm not going to cry today. And as they're talking to Dr. Ken, I actually did like him. I think this is my first time seeing him. But
Dr. Ken?
Yeah. They talk about the dinner, and she talks about how she really appreciated it. And I love Dr. Ken's enthusiasm. Like, oh my God, that was such a great thing that you did for her. Wasn't that such a great thing that he did for you? And she's like, yeah, it was. And she was like, and I let him know that I appreciate it. But the problem is, because he did something for me, now I can never say anything else. I can't express how I feel, or I'm being unappreciative. Girl, I have been on that boat. I know how that shit feel. I do. A motherfucker think they do a few things for you, and now you just can't ever say nothing. If you say take the garbage out, it's World War III, because they do everything else.
But I bought you steak and lobster.
Right. And then he says that he felt like the way Drew behaved, she really deserved a lunch bowl. I said, you disrespectful mother.
I'm already not gonna want to go out with you until we get this shit on the table, unless we discussing it at dinner.
So Drew points out that he keeps giving her things instead of not addressing her feelings. He then brings up the point about Drew calling him a maniac, and Dr. Ken, and she was like, oh, I knew you were going to bring that up. But about that. And then Dr. Ken was like, first of all, I don't care. He's like, second of all, it's not about what I say. It's about what y'all think about y'all marriage. And I was like, okay, Dr. Ken. And so, yeah, he basically tells them that they need to realize that they attack each other. And so he challenges them to not have a combative conversation for 30 days. And the person that causes the situation must do whatever their partner pleases for 24 hours. So I said, okay, that's cute, little offset. But
there would be a battle over who caused it.
I agree. I was thinking about that too. Drew feels like this trip to New York will be good for them to start this process. And we'll see what happens. But I don't know. I'm just not here for Ralph. I would never want to tell someone to leave their husband, but I just don't like Ralph. All right. So we see everybody packing up, getting ready for their trip to New York. Now, all of a sudden they get a knock at the door. And Kandi has sent her half-naked messengers with exotic gifts for everyone to bring on their trip. The bag
mandatory. It's mandatory they bring.
Mandatory. The bag includes vibrating panties and other romantic, erotic gifts. So then,
I'm trying to see what that'd be like.
Okay. Everybody's really into it. Sonya's like, oh, okay. Kenya's like, leave it up to Kandi to send, she couldn't send me a playbill. She gonna send me some nasty, dirty toys. She's like, who has time for this? I'm like, come on, Kenya. I know you happy, but how you staying happy?
It don't seem like you really getting them right now. So
I was gonna say, how you staying happy? I'm sure some of them toys in them bags.
Mm-hmm.
So then basically Kandi is having everyone picked up an Ace Sprinter. She had it chartered for them so that everyone could get to the airport on time because we all know these girls are not on time for anything. And so they all leave together. Now, Kenya is a little upset when she gets on the bus, and she's realizing that everybody's kind of coupled up. And she's like, well, I feel like Kandi should have let me know if this was going to be a couples trip. You don't think that you should disclose that? And I'm like, well, Sheree ain't with her boo. And the way it's going, we might not see him. So,
well, wasn't she aware that she was inviting the men though?
Well, see, I don't know. That's a very, actually, she did say that they were inviting the guys. They do a flashback when she said, talked about the invitation. She said, you can even bring a date. And she said, oh, I may bring a date. And then turned around and act like she had no clue. So yeah, Kenya, sorry, we don't feel bad for you there. Then Sheree feels a little turned off being in the same vehicle with Ralph and Drew. However, she's like, I'm gonna get here. I'm gonna enjoy this trip. They just better respect my space. Like they better stay over there. Here. And I ain't mad at it. And Sonya says she really enjoyed Kandi's surprise when Kandi asked about it when they get on the bus. And Kenya said with Brooklyn and a nanny, who has time to walk around New York in vibrating panties? Maybe you need to find some time, Kenya. Again, you might be a bit happy.
You got to walk around New York. You walk around your hotel. Okay, relax. Put some things on and have a good time.
Then on the way there, Kandi brings up the apartment and how maybe the ladies can get her excited and possibly give her some ideas so that she can get into the mode of even thinking about it and try to get excited about it. So, they're all like, okay, girl, we would love to. And, but Kandi's not really here for it.
So the crew reaches New York, and of course, Kandi, she's excited that the food is already in the hotel. Okay. And
food is hungry.
You said what?
I'm hungry.
I'm hungry.
I don't know what y'all gonna do, but I'm gonna eat.
Sonya brings up the fact that it's been a long time since her and her husband have been able to take a trip. And she doesn't understand what the hell is going through this man's mind wanting to have another one. She's like, we're just now able to leave dudes at home with family. I get it. I feel you, boo. Mm-hmm. Then Kenya, she's the one. So she tells Sheree she thinks Tyrone is gonna use them vibrating panties on her ass. Sheree is just giddy, but what they're supposed to be abstinent, right? Mm-hmm. They're abstinent right now, so I don't know. Then Kandi and Todd make up a game where they have to tell the best sex story in order to get the penthouse suite B, because they probably got suite A. Mm-hmm. And apparently Sonya, she's a part of the Mile High Club. She says she has sex her entire way to Dubai. Marlo, she gives some made up story, which is the same shit I would have did. I would have just came up with some crazy shit. I was like,
that she had sex in the zoo and the giraffe watched it on her face.
I caught with something about licking her face. I didn't even catch all that.
Yeah, she said, and the giraffe sat by and watched and then licked her face. I thought that was a good one. That was a good one.
Marlo's an idiot.
I actually think she should have won, but anyway.
Probably because they knew it was bullshit. Right. Sheree says the Ritz-Carlton at the pool in Miami.
In the public, broad daylight, outside.
Yeah, who the fuck ain't do that? That to me, that's not like the best. That's why, whatever. That's some auntie shit. Ralph says that him and Drew were in the middle of the ocean in DR with the whales. None of his lies are believable. We need to sit down with Marcel.
I don't know how Drew just can't see through his bullshit, because I very clearly can, but okay.
Well, clearly for this story, she got to be going along with him unless she thinks that it was another woman.
Right.
That he was talking about. And Kenya says that she was, talking to this guy who was into hunting. And apparently he hit a coyote, but he didn't kill it. So they followed the trail of blood of the coyote that left
into a cavern.
Apparently they had sex.
And the animal
wrong.
They thought they killed sat back and watched them. And everybody was floored by the fact that they were like, you got turned on by coyote blood. And it was just, and Kandi knows it's bullshit, but she's like,
everybody was like, just give her the room.
Yeah, Kenya gets an A for effort.
It took too much imagination.
Right. It took a lot of imagination.
Sonya is getting her makeup done and having a conversation with her husband. And basically she's talking about the mess with Drew. And she feels like, if you have a messy assistant who you're friends with and you're worried about cutting ties, you're possibly equally as messy. So she's kind of side-eyeing Drew right now. Then we see Sheree. She walks in while Marlo is getting her makeup done. And she's basically like, girl, we need to be ready for dinner by 10 o'clock. And Marlo's shady ass, she's like, oh, is it ready for dinner or for Todd's furnished condo?
Well, yeah.
I was like, Jesus Christ, she just can't help herself. And she says she feels like Kandi is just like a big ball of freak, basically, and she needs help because she ain't about to be walking around with no shit up in her coochie. Like, that's not what's hot.
Right.
Then Drew sits down with her husband and asks for her foot rub as part of her 30-day challenge. And he looked like he really don't want to touch her feet. He's like, you've been walking around this room. She said, I'm clean. Like, sir, it's you we need to worry about. Okay. With your dirty ass. Okay. And she basically talks to him about the fact that she feels like Sheree was actually kind of being nice to her. Like, she's, not really sure what's going on. And she doesn't see any point in bringing up the whole shit about him, from the last.
The allegations are laughable. And she's there to enjoy her weekend with her husband. Yeah. Then we're on our way off to see Todd's condo.
Everyone looks beautiful. Everyone looks great.
Oh, yes. Everyone does look great. Mm-hmm. And then Kandi starts to go on about how Todd wants this place so he can hang out and be with his friends and hang out like he's a college student. And Todd said, he's like, we're going to make this a thing. Like, this is what we're doing. So then, of course, everyone starts chiming in on the relationship. Todd basically feels like, actually they do flashbacks of apparently there's been rumors in the streets that Todd has not been on his best behavior, especially while in New York. And they do a flashback of Portia calling him by his stripper name, Marvin. I said, well, and then Sheree says that there has been talk in the streets and Kandi may have a reason to be concerned. And maybe that's what the issues are regarding this condo. And even Sonya is like, oh my God, like I thought Miss Sex Queen, she had that locked down. And she's like, I see why this condo may be an issue.
It don't matter to dudes.
Right. And so Todd talks about how his issues with Kandi is that she's always the center of attention. And when you're always the center of attention, sometimes you don't realize how to give it. And I was like, well, that's kind of true. And then everybody kind of jumps on her like, yeah, you need to work on that. You need to do better, Kandi. And Candy's like, look, I've been fine my whole life.
I know, like, y'all off topic. Right. We're talking about this condo though.
Right. So I don't know. I guess we'll see what happens when we get to the condo.
So this condo has some potential, y'all. It looks like it would be beautiful, if it had some work done. And Kenya she ready. Okay. Right. We saw her in the confessional, put her hard hat on. She offers to, help him hook this place up for a cool $15K.
Mm-hmm.
She's, saying that the fireplace can go over here. We got to get rid of these doors and these windows. And, she ready to put her Kenya touch on everything. Then she notices the spiral staircase. She said, those got to go.
That we can get an elevator for 25,000.
Yeah. Well, she bumped up the budget to 25,000 to 15 because of the elevator. And then we find out it has a rooftop. It is beautiful. The rooftop area is beautiful. It's a nice view. But of course, it still needs some work. And Ralph makes a joke saying, I bet you had some great times out here. And then goes in to hug Kandi. Kandi like, no, nigga, get the fuck off. This bullshit. Like, I ain't about to, the hell, why would you say some shit like that?
Right.
Then Kenya sees the rooftop, and she said we can do this, and she said a cool $100,000, and this condo will be tip top shape. Okay. Sonia says that she doesn't feel like this place has like any really bad juju. She didn't feel icky when she walked in. It feels nice clean air. And Sheree said, she can see why Todd wants to keep this condo. But it definitely doesn't compare to Chateau Sheree or even Marlowe's pile of dirt. I said, why are these people so shady? But Todd is grateful that everybody took his side, as he knew they would, because he wants to have something to give his kids. He wants to keep it in the family.
Right.
Then they all go to this beautiful restaurant. It looks like it's on the water. It's probably still in Jersey. And find out that Drew and Kandi, they ain't got on their damn wedding rings. And the husbands is like this. Like, I got mine on.
Right.
Kandi says that, she doesn't wear hers all the time. And Drew says that, after her pregnancy, after her babies.
Because after the babies.
Mm-hmm.
So after she had her surgeries, then they were in a difficult place. And so she didn't want to put her ring on, and she just never put it back on. And then they go back and do a flashback of how she never has her ring on. So that means they've been in a difficult place for a while
now. Yeah. Then she mentions to everyone at the table that they went to therapy and they're doing this 30-day challenge, not to argue and, to show respect to each other more. And Marlowe's she asked, well, whatever happened with the assistant?
Okay, let's get straight to it. What happened?
Right? And Ralph says that he had to fire the assistant. And Drew says that emotionally, she's still dealing with the fact that they're even dealing with another woman.
Mm-hmm.
And Ralph is like,
how long is it going to take you to get over this? How long do I have to pay for
how long is normal? Like, what do I have to do to get up? And everybody's like, it takes time. And Kenya's like, and reassuring behavior.
Yes, and reassuring actions, yes.
And Kandi is like, dude, like, you got to admit that the shit looks crazy. And he's like, yeah, I can understand that it looked crazy if you didn't understand the context behind it. And Drew was just like, let's not go there.
You may be able to bullshit me, honey, but you can't do it to these other group of ladies.
Right. We on this 30-day challenge. Let's not fuck it up now.
Right.
Okay. And Kandi. Oh, I'm sorry, Kenya. Kenya says that basically Ralph reminds her of her ex Mark. And I don't think that's a compliment.
The gaslighting, the way that he speaks to her, he basically says that Ralph is an asshole, which we all know.
And she basically explains to him, like, she doesn't want to feel invalidated. And she doesn't want you to defend everything that she's referring to and making her feel like she's crazy.
Ralph then says something like, y'all act like I went out and tried to find the assistant with the biggest butt or something like that. It was everybody was just like, why would you say that? That's just not like, that was just, you just dug yourself in another deeper hole. Kenya was not here for it.
He tries to explain that they were in a dark place.
And Kandi, that's what makes it even worse, that you would go hire another woman that clearly is attractive to get under your wife's skin while y'all are not in the best place.
Mm-hmm. And yeah, basically that's what Kandi told him. Like, dude, you are digging yourself a ditch. Oh man. Drew says basically, she's happy that Kenya is speaking up for her because she's explaining everything that she's feeling. Mm-hmm. And Ralph basically tells Drew that, to her it happened one way and to him it happened another. And Kenya intervenes and was like, if my husband said some shit like that, it would piss me the fuck off and I would flip this whole fucking table because you're making it seem like she's lying. And that's disrespectful, especially when she's hurting. Like, basically, you're tearing her down. And he's ready to get off the subject. He's like, so Todd, what were you about to say? And Kenya's like, don't do me like that. Like,
I love Marlo. Marlo's sitting there and she was like, I blame Drew. Drew, you got to take some responsibility in this shit too. She said, this is why I'm single.
She said, I'm staying single shit.
Right.
But she did say,
you're behind. You accept it. That's why he doing it. I said, well.
And Sonia agreed as well. She's like, you teach somebody how to love you. So, I mean, yeah. Then, Sheree. Oh, Sheree.
The bone came through.
Basically, Drew says that she's not the type of person to start some shit. If you bring it to her, she gonna finish it. Sheree like, well, you didn't finish a motherfucking thing, okay? Right. And
who I am.
He's like, well, no one at this table would be okay with somebody talking about their husband. And Kandi's like, okay, but that statement originated from your assistant.
Right. So let's deal with the first issue at hand.
Exactly. And Drew was like, well, I didn't see any evidence of this. The bone collector, when pulled out her phone with a picture of Dennis and Ralph together, and it said, Drew, it says Dennis and Drew's baby daddy. I don't know. Whatever. It didn't say Portia. And she has, whoever it was, has the scoop on him. And he's all ears now. Ralph is all ears.
He's like, what? And then, what?
She looks Ralph right in the face and says, and yeah, he already told me that you're gay. She didn't say he accused you. He didn't say that you said. She's like, he already told me. Like, I don't know why. It was just, the statement was like, that's what told me and I already know. It was like, but it's like no news. Okay.
Right.
And Ralph is speechless and Todd is just over there drinking his drink and minding his business. I said, Jesus Christ. And I'm sure where we pick up next week is going to pick up right back at this table in the thick of it.
Thank you guys so much for tuning in to another review of Real Housewives of Atlanta. Please make sure, if you have not already, that you hit that like button.
You comment.
You subscribe.
And hit the notification bell.
And please make sure that you are following us on all of our many platforms, Facebook, Twitter, Instagram, all of the above. Mm-hmm. And thank you guys. And we will catch you next week. Have a good night.
Mwah.
Front, back, side to side. Make sure you go like and subscribe. Front, back, side to side. Make sure you go like and subscribe. Hey!